But first, the coming Aston by-election in Victoria, just in the fringes of Melbourne suburbs, triggered by Alan Tudge's resignation, is as much a test for the government as the opposition. And if the Liberals were smart, they would make it a referendum on cost of living and Labor's broken promises. That's because for 95% of voters, cost of living is the only issue that keeps them up at night. At the election last year, the Albanese government made two big promises. First, that it would cut household electricity bills by $275 a year. Second, that it would raise real wages. Since the election, your energy bills have continued to go up and up. I don't need to tell you that. And even the government's own budget forecasts a 40% increase in gas and a 56% increase in your power bills. And the government's climate-obsessed renewables drive will make a bad situation worse, as consumers are forced to pay for 40 new wind turbines every month and 22,000 new solar panels every day, plus 28,000 kilometres of new transmission lines over the next 8 years. And with inflation at 7% plus, there's no way real wages will grow anytime soon. Add in the government's payoff to their union mates via industry-wide bargaining and industry-wide strikes, and sure enough, there's economic headwinds in front of us. Throughout this looming by-election campaign, when voters will want the focus on them, of course, don't forget, the PM will be pushing his Indigenous voice to the Parliament, and that's going to win him hearts and minds in Aston. This is Mortgage Belt Melbourne, not the ABC's Q&A audience. You have to go back over 100 years to 1920 to find an occasion where the opposition has lost a by-election race to the government. But don't think it can't happen. Just look at the performance of the Victorian Libs up against Daniel Andrews last year and you'll understand my concern. Today, a couple of Liberal frontbenchers took to the media demanding that a woman be chosen to replace Alan Tudge.
I've got a preference for the candidate that I think can best win the seat for us. Now, I think that what we do have to take into consideration is that a very good woman would do that for us.
He should be replaced by a highly capable and skilled woman. If the Liberal Party is to show that it has heard some of the messages and learned some of the lessons given to it by the electorate at the last election, where we did lose comprehensively, then we need to make sure that we increase the diversity of candidates that we have, that we get more women into the Parliament.
Forget that posturing, forget gender, gents. It's the quality of the candidate that counts. A factional hack is not going to hold a seat for the Liberals, even if she wears a dress, which is why it's critical that Libs hold proper rank-and-file pre-selections, in this case in Aston, because the surest way they can stuff this up is to install a candidate that doesn't and can't resonate with the sort of aspirational families that make up Aston. Now, I recall two by-elections happening shortly after Tony Abbott unexpectedly became opposition leader in 2009. You'll recall back then, of course, Kevin Rudd was riding high. Best ever news poll numbers on record for a Prime Minister. But Abbott said, we can win these by-elections if we take the fight up to the government. Now, I was there, we did, and we won. Both of the seats were won. One of them, Higgins, was in Victoria. Plenty of lessons there if Liberals are listening.